Recently, our client Tommy met his banker to discuss continuing his father's restaurant legacy. In us, he found a partner that understood the importance of passing the torch. First Horizon Bank. Let's find a way. Go to firsthorizon.com/Tommy.
With Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to... Has anyone seen the bride and groom?
Sorry, we're here. We were getting lucky in the limo and we lost track of time.
No, Lucky Land Casino, with cash prizes that add up quicker than a guest registry.
In that case, I pronounce you lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Daily bonuses are waiting. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Welcome to Handle with Care, Breast Cancer and Beyond. A safe place where both women and men can come and listen to real people talk about their breast cancer experience and the effects that follow well into survivorship. Hosted by Carrie Madrid, a stage 3 breast cancer survivor and founder of the CARE Project. It's time to Handle with Care.
And we're back. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Handle with Care, Breast Cancer and Beyond. I am Chris Donovan, the co-host here with Carrie Madrid, and this week we have a really cool show. And we have Jennifer Wallace on the show with us. She's a breast cancer survivor and a holistic life coach and podcaster. Now, it's Jennifer's mission to aid you in achieving the life you desire through behavioral changes, brain health, nutrition, and whole body consciousness. You can find her on Instagram and Facebook by searching Illuminated with Jennifer Wallace. It's a fun conversation we have, so sit back and enjoy it with Carrie, myself, and Jennifer Wallace.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Handle with Care, Breast Cancer and Beyond. This is another Beyond episode, if you will, in that we are talking with Jennifer Wallace, whose mission, according to her website, is to aid you in achieving the life you desire through behavioral change, brain health, nutrition, and whole body consciousness. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. It's such an honor and pleasure to be here with you, Carrie.
Yeah, and Chris is here. Chris is co-hosting again.
Hey, good to meet you, Jennifer. Hi, Carrie.
Hey.
Hi, Chris.
So, life coach, would that be your title, your main title?
Yes, I would say holistic lifestyle coach and podcaster. Yeah.
Okay. And when did you start your podcast?
About 12 episodes ago.
Oh, how's it going?
Yeah. Oh, I love it so much. I think the platform is just incredible to connect and communicate and build community, which is just everything.
Yeah. And it's called Illuminate, right?
Illuminated with Jennifer Wallace. Yes. That's my whole business, my coaching business as well.
Okay. So tell us about life coaching, right? Because we hear that term or that phrase or that title thrown around often. And I think that some people are starting to get desensitized, like, oh, here we go, another one, right? So we want to know what makes you different and why did you get into it?
Well, yeah. And the word coach is it really was a hard sort of word for me to get accustomed to using too. I mean, I do not come from any sort of athletic background. And so that to me has this connotation of like sports, team sports and stuff. And so I wish I could think of another word to use. And I've even considered calling myself a holistic survivor coach because I do love working mostly with women who are in breast cancer recovery. And so one of the main things that I do, I mean, I have a pretty good education in anatomy through holistic lifestyle coaching under the Chek Academy. I've been studying under Paul Chek. I also have a Pilates and a yoga background. And so what makes me different is that I use applied neurology for behavior change. And so it's input training to produce better outputs. And I think a lot of the common outputs that we see from breast cancer is anxiety, fatigue, depression, disassociation, right? Identity loss, and also neuropathy.
Every episode we've ever done with survivors, right, Chris?
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard.
Are you a breast cancer survivor?
Yes, I am. Yeah. 6 years now.
Okay. Good for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So talk to me briefly about your experience as a survivor or being diagnosed, because I imagine that played heavily into you going this route, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
How were you diagnosed? Did you find your own lumps? Was it routine mammograms?
No, I was 37. And one night when I took my bra off, I just decided to feel my breasts for some reason. And when I did, I discovered a 9 centimeter tumor in my right breast.
Wow, that's huge.
Yeah. 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 You know, when they measure your breast like a clock at 3 o'clock, it felt like you were just knocking on my elbow. It was just like, it was there. It was really there.
Wow, wow, wow. So, wow, how did that grab you? I mean, I had just turned 41, so they kept telling me I was young in the breast cancer world, but you were even younger than me. So, how did you handle that?
Oh, it was interesting. I spiraled pretty quickly. Like I went through a couple of weeks, I guess, where things were so uncertain because I hadn't found an oncologist yet. And I was reading all these books and really kind of, yeah, I was spiraling. I was pretty depressed by it. And then something switched in me once I really started, like I found a natural path and I actually held a psilocybin ceremony with myself to confront the cancer.
What? Oh, what? Wait, wait, wait. Oh, what?
I did psychedelics to confront my tumor
Okay.
and to just be in alignment with what I was about to go through because I knew it was bad. I could feel it. Like I said, I'm knocking on this thing. I had to come to Jesus with this. Like, okay, you're going into battle. And now here we go.
Well, let me ask you this. Before your diagnosis, did you always lead the most holistic lifestyle you could, or where did that come into play where you looked for a naturopath and all that?
No, I was someone who I thought was healthy because I drank green drinks and I sort of did some yoga here and there and, took hikes outside. But I was drinking, I used to drink kind of a lot. I don't have any addiction in me, but I did drink heavily. And I was a binger. I was a binge eater. So through the applied neurology, that's also something that I cured, speaking of like outputs. And so I do believe that not only the state of my central nervous system caused the cancer, but the food I was eating and the way that I was polluting my body and really not having nice thoughts either, right? Because the mind is so much. And I was stage 3.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, me too. Me too. So tell us briefly, like, what was your treatment plan? What did you do to get into survivorship?
The protocol for me was going to be, I was HER2 positive. So 6 rounds of chemo, double mastectomy, 30 rounds of radiation, but 18 total courses of the Herceptin and Perjeta combo. So that would have taken me through that would have been 14 months of treatment instead of just the year. But I did so much work. I really did so much Eastern work to balance the Western, especially considering like I'm just a big believer that if you're going to start putting your body through this level of stress, like especially your really sensitive internal organs and systems, you have to support it in some way. So I worked with the Maderi Foundation, which is.
So wait, hold on. Sorry.
No,
Because
it's okay.
my chemo brain, so you did have chemo. You did.
Mhm.
Okay. So you went with that treatment plan, but you wanted to also couple that with.
Yeah, my treatment plan changed because of that Eastern balance, I believe, and really working so much in prayer and soul and God connection that by the time it came through for my imaging for my double, they found no cancer. They couldn't find a tumor.
Okay. So some people have tumors so large, which I imagine was your case, that they have you do chemo first to try to shrink the tumor and then go on to surgery, whereas mine was the opposite. So you started chemo, but in conjunction with that was practicing the other.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell us what else you
Yeah.
did with the chemo specifically.
I have an acupuncturist that worked with the breast meridian lines, and I did a lot of acupuncture. I immersed myself in Deepak Chopra's soul of healing and his way of thinking about really how much your body can repair itself and what your mind, the belief that your mind, I did a lot of visualization work.
So meditation.
Tons of meditation, tons of prayer. It's basically all I could do. I was exhausted. I mean, the chemo was like, they told me, they said, we're going to take you to the edge. And they did.
So when you had 6 chemo treatments, did you have all 3 drugs all at once every 3 weeks?
I had 4. Yeah, 4 drugs every 3 weeks.
Okay. Yeah, I know that's rough. Chemo, I had 3 drugs. every 3 weeks times 6. So I think people don't realize just how much that knocks you
It's
to your knees
terrible.
physically.
Mhm.
Let's just talk physically, let alone spiritually, mentally, emotionally. You're just drained.
Yes.
So
And as a hardworking woman, it's hard to accept that now you can literally do nothing. This is taking you out.
you don't know how to just sit there and like let your body process that and heal from it, right?
Yep. Yep.
So meditation, prayer, acupuncture, did your Western docs get on board with you doing these complementary therapies, if you will, or did they push back on that?
They pushed back on it. The Mederi Foundation had full access to all my pathology, my everything. Every time I went to the doctor, they got the report because they were sending me tonics and tinctures and pills and everything to say, okay, you need to do this to support your liver. You have to do this to support your kidneys. Now we're going to, so I was just constantly taking something.
And that's the Mederi. How do you spell that? Mederi Foundation.
Mederi, and they are out of Oregon.
Okay. Out of Oregon.
Donnie Yance is the founder, and it's extraordinary the work that they've been able to do with people with really serious cancers.
Mm-hmm. And so they do now, were they on board with you also having the chemo?
Yes.
Or do they promote that you do only their processes?
I think they take each case individually. And for me, so I was diagnosed in October, and I was saying I was reading all these books. Like, I did not want to go into treatment, but the oncologist that I finally settled with told me I would be dead by January if I didn't do this treatment, because I didn't have any insurance. So that's what I was thinking, like, let me do my thing, check in January. And he was like, you'll be dead. You won't make it to January. It's not that kind of cancer.
Let's just put it in perspective of how big that tumor is.
It's 4 inches.
That's huge. Yeah. 4 inches of your breast. And I don't know what your breast size was before your surgery, but anybody's breast size, that's huge. So, wow. I'm just taking that all in. I'm thinking about, okay, so meditation, prayer, acupuncture, you finish your chemo, right?
Mm-hmm.
You go in for your scan so they can see how effective the chemo was in preparation for a double mastectomy. And they had no traces of cancer?
Nothing.
So
they couldn't find my tumor. So I did go in. They then said, okay, it'll be a lumpectomy, and we'll just go in there and take some tissue, check your lymph nodes, and nothing. No double. I got to keep my breasts. Like there was nothing there.
No lymph node involvement?
Mm-mm.
Awesome. Wow. That's fantastic. So in your, how do you say it? Like I always say, like we always tell people like here at the Care Project, when we're talking to them and they're making decisions about treatment or reconstruction or whatever, we always tell them, look, get all the information from your team, right? Your medical team, and then sit with it for a minute, marinate on it, and then find your peace about it, right? So that's what I'm trying to say. So in your heart of hearts, in your mind, in your spirit, if you will, how much do you contribute these complementary therapies versus chemo to the result that you had? It's an incredible result.
A lot. I mean, when I tell you, I would just pray and listen to positive things and listening to like what the power of your mind has. I mean, big visualizations, like I'm taking this out every day. I would just say, thank you so much for washing this cancer out of my body. Thank you for shrinking this tumor. And I would visualize that. And I just do believe so much that change and healing is possible in your body.
We had another guest, Ginny, in the past, who is a dear friend of mine. And she used to always say, and she's a survivor mentor here at the Care Project. And she would always tell people, look, when you're getting your chemo, just sit there and as anxious as you are, use meditation or words or whatever you want to phrase it, right? And just visualize that toxic stuff that's going through your body is clearing you out. Just visualize like little army soldiers going in there and attacking the cancer. So I think the mind, body, spirit is definitely strong. I think it's something that is not talked about a lot. And so that's why, one of the reasons I wanted to have you on is because I'm fascinated by people who choose only holistic, and that frightens me.
Yeah.
So I love the complementary therapies. Now, let me ask you a big question. If you had to rewind your life and go back, knowing what you know now, would you still have chemo?
Yes.
Or would you go only holistic?
No, I would have the chemo and I would not have the radiation, because they did have me finish out with the full protocol. So I did the 18 Herceptin and the radiation, and I would pass on the radiation.
Because Why?
Because I just don't know if that was when I really sit with that, I really feel like it was just extra.
I feel that way about radiation. And I think it's that way in a lot of cases. I think it's like that additional, hey, we're good. Because I did have lymph node involvement. I had 28 nodes removed out of my left arm, 6 were positive.
Oh, wow.
So they not only did they remove them all, and I had chemo, which I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm good now then, right? But then they still want to go in and target and burn you to a crisp.
It's the worst.
For an extra measure. I think knowing what I know now, I might question that. I might push back on radiation, just because it's now caused for me lymphedema and all that good stuff, tons of scar tissue.
Mhm.
But again, I think it's one of those things that you got to really sit with it.
And a weird irrational fear of machinery. Did that happen to you?
No.
Like I went to the dentist for the first time after having treatment, and you sit there and it's like it's changed so much now. Now there's this like machine and it's like moving around you. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God. Oh my God. Lasers, panic, get me out. Like I was in tears when the technician came back and I was like, I'm sorry. I really need a minute.
It's funny because we've talked about this before. It's like people will say to me, I'll just use a vaccine because that's the hot topic right now. People say, well, why don't you get a flu shot? And I'm like, look, I'm not afraid of needles. I've had a million needles all over my body from cancer and every other surgery I had before cancer. But I feel like it's because I've gone through all that and because I've gone through so much pain, like F that, I don't want to have another one. I don't care how simple it is because I feel the same way when I go to the dentist and I've never been irrationally, afraid of them. And my dentist is so gentle. I love her. I won't go anywhere else. But yet and still I'm kind of like, homegirl, I need extra medication.
Yeah.
It's so, yeah, I guess that is sort of the lasting effect. Years and years and years ago, I worked as a medical billing manager at an oncology center in Northern California. And it was one of the most sought after, very affluent, very high tech, and very progressive for back then. Because let me think, this had to be my youngest was born in 99. So this had to be in 97 to 99, I worked there. And they had started bringing in integrative therapies. And so they had someone that would come in and do visualization. They had someone that would come in and do guided meditation. They had someone that would come in and do yoga. And we were all like, what is this willy-nilly hoodoo voodoo stuff, right? And now that I'm obviously way older and have been the patient and have heard so many stories about people using both Eastern and Western medicine, I think it's fantastic. I think every patient, like Treatments America, what is it? Treatment Centers of America. Like, I just want Chris and I to go there on a field trip and see what they do because they do everything, right? They're about treating the total patient, mind, body, soul. And I'm
It's
like,
important. It's really important.
I want to go there. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you touched on something earlier that when you get that protocol of treatment that you really sit with it. And also to explore doctors. Go see several oncologists and breast specialists and make sure that when you walk through that door, you feel like this person's got your back. This person really believes in it and you.
You have to be comfortable with your team. You have to know that they're treating you as if you're their sister, their family member, whatever.
Yeah, they're
right?
treating you as a person
Yeah.
and not a patient,
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah. I have sat in support groups and sessions where someone newly diagnosed hasn't like started active treatment yet, and people are kind of sitting around giving their 2 cents and, hey, consider this and ask your doctor that. And I will say that I have been, because you know me, I keep it real, right? So let me be honest with myself. I've sat back and I've listened and I've been like, okay, you all are telling her to go get 3 and 4 opinions, but the cancer is not only in one breast, it's in both breasts. It's overtaking, it's in our lymph nodes. Like, what is there to get a second opinion about? Get in there and get going, right? Like, I've been guilty of that.
Mhm.
What do you say to somebody like that? Like, your case was so advanced, like off rip. I mean, it makes me nervous to think that someone would take a lot of time, not that they would get multiple opinions, because I think that's important, but there's sometimes a lag in getting in, and weeks can make a difference if you're advanced, right? My tumors, one was very small and one was very large. And that large one, I negotiated with my surgeon from the time I left on when I was going to have my mastectomy, right? Because I had to have it right away. And so I negotiated, I want to say, I think it was about 11 to 13 days out from the date I received my diagnosis. And in the time that I had my imaging, which was probably a week before I got the results to that time. So what is that? 2 weeks, maybe? It grew from like 2.5 centimeters to like 6.
Whoa.
So when I hear people say, well, just take your time and go get 3 opinions, I'm like, you don't got time. You don't always have time.
It's true. It's true. And looking back, I really don't have any idea of what kind of danger I put myself in that few weeks of looking for doctors. But it wasn't until I got to that 5th doctor that he looked at me and really hit me with the truth. Like, none of the other doctors, when I was like, I want to do this on my own, give me a little bit of time, they were not being real with me. And it wasn't until he looked at me and he said, you will be dead.
That's
Don't do that.
so important, right? Like, these doctors need to keep it real.
And so I was like, all right, hook me up. Give me that port. I'm ready. I'm not going to die.
Yeah. Yeah. And it took you hearing that for you to spring into action and go, okay, I'm ready. Let's go. Right.
100%. Yep.
That's why I love my oncologist. I swear I'm going to try to get Dr. Ruby in here one day. She is so she's really good at analyzing her patients' personalities and what they can digest, because let's face it, not every patient can hear what your doctor said to you, right? Me, I'd be like, okay, cool. Thanks for being honest. Let's go. Right. But I know other people that would be like a ball of jello on the floor if they heard that, and then they'd be no good. So
yeah. No, I looked at my friend. We were driving there and I was like, I really hope this doctor says something that clicks, because I know I'm in a serious situation, but like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this.
What advice would you give to friends of patients like you, who your friend is going with you to the 5th doctor? Now, if I'm your friend, I'm like, look, girl.
I had you. Yes, I have you as my friend. One of my best friends that went through all this with me is just like you. She's like, from the beginning, she was like, you're doing it. You are going to do that treatment. You're going to do everything those doctors tell you to, and stop going to all these other doctors. And I was like, I don't know.
Yeah. You're like,
we'll see. We'll just see what happens. And then finally it was like, boom, no. Okay. You got me now. You're speaking. I need direct. I respond to that.
Do you feel like you had more control in your treatments, being that you added your second or third, like Carrie said, complementary medicines?
Yeah, I did. I never got sick. I kept at first I thought I was just experiencing low back pain. I didn't realize that was my kidneys processing the heavy toxins. And so the Medairi Center gave me this specific mix of tea. I'll actually send you the recipe, Carrie, and you can post it. That helped. It just flushed. It flushed me out all the time. I just drank it. And also.
And that's so important, because your kidneys, your liver, everything takes a beating. I still have kidney damage from chemo. So
rough.
That's really important.
It's so rough. And then you have to keep your mental headspace. So I tell people, I don't know what you believe in. Just believe in something, believe in yourself, believe in your body, just believe, because you need it. You need the support.
I think that is important.
Metaphysical support.
Absolutely. I think that is important. It could be a rock that you hold. Something, whatever gives you comfort, if that's faith in a traditional God sense, if whatever that is. That's why here at the Care Project, we have, I wish I could take you around and show you. We have a fitness room behind me. And then behind that room is a meditation room.
Oh, nice.
And so we've just created this little tiny space where you can go in and just sit. And I tell patients all the time, if you need to go in there and cuss, if you need to go in there and cry, if you need to go in there and pray, or if you just need to go in there and take a damn nap, that's your space.
That's right.
And everybody that walks in that room is just like, whew, right? I think that's so important.
Yeah, it's important to process all of those emotions. I mean, cancer comes with so much anger and sadness. It's like and we're not really taught to always deal with those harder emotions.
No, we're taught to just stay positive, right?
Yeah, just you can do it. You can do it. No pain, no gain.
And the battle language, right?
Yeah.
Battle language. So-and-so lost their battle. I go crazy every time I hear that.
It's
That
awful.
implies that I was stronger than that person that passed, right? That
Yes.
I hate that.
Mm.
Anyways, that's a squirrel moment. So let's fast forward. So tell us about your business, what you do, how you help, and all that good stuff.
Well, I don't only work with breast cancer survivors. I do only work with women, and because I really love to study trauma, the effects of trauma, what it has, how it creates patterns, and then using the applied neurology, which is basically training your central nervous system for better input.
Just going to ask that. Let's talk about applied neurology.
Yeah, let's. It's so awesome.
What exactly does that mean in layman's terms?
Okay, it's like training.
Give it to me dumb. Give it to me dumb.
Well, your central nervous system is made up of many different systems in the body. You've got your visual system, your sensory system, proprioceptive, and your vestibular system, right? Your inner ear, your balance, where you are oriented in space. And where there are deficits in these systems, puts your brain under more threat. And when your brain is wired for survival and it is looking for pattern recognitions to keep you alive, and then you've got these deficits, it's going to give you outputs like anxiety, depression, brain fog. And then if you have something like neuropathy, and I had it in my feet specifically, your body map is blurry. And then your brain, it's every step becomes threatening because your brain doesn't know where your body is in space.
So how do you help people process that, fix that, retrain that, if you will?
So first with sensory stimulus, not skin on skin, but if you're wearing socks, always first thing I do in the morning is just touch my feet, rub around them and be like, hey guys, get ready. We're walking today. We got a lot to do. Feel those toes, get in there, really get in touch with your body and sit with it. And then I have specific drills that I will do to turn my feet on, just to make sure, because you need to touch the area so that your brain knows my foot's down there.
Yeah, a lot of chemo patients have neuropathy, and it's like numbness, tingly. Picture like when your foot goes to sleep and it's starting to come back, but it's not all the way back. So Ginny has that. Ginny still has neuropathy in both feet.
Is it as painful as when your foot goes to sleep and comes back? Because that's one of the worst feelings in the world.
It can be.
Oh.
Some people have numbness. Some people have the pain and the numbness.
Oh, wow.
And some cancer survivors, they have it long term, and some it fades away after time. So I think it sounds funny. I'm just thinking of listeners that I know. They're going to be like, oh, touch my feet in the morning. Wakey, wakey, right? But
Yeah.
but even on the Care Project YouTube channel, I sound like I'm plugging everything, but it's coming to me. One of our wellness team members is a retired RN nurse navigator, oncology nurse navigator, and she's a yoga instructor. And so she does various, we've produced very low quality but efficient enough for us videos that we put on our YouTube channel for our survivors to go to. And one of the little yoga, it's like a 10-minute wake up, and that's exactly what it is. I just thought about that. It's like waking up, because when I was recording it, I was like, what is she talking about? But it's true. I did it just to see, and it's true, like waking everything up, right? And then she did another one like about before going to bed. Sorry, I squirreled on you. Okay. So
you're totally fine. I'm totally into it. I'm totally with you.
So you're retraining people to get their mind and body connected, if you will.
Yeah. There's something called the vagus nerve, which is your 10th cranial nerve. It's your mind body connection. It starts in the cranium, but it inserts in the pelvis. And that nerve has a lot to do with your resting heart rate, your autonomic systems, right? The systems that run automatically, your breath, your digestion. And so by toning that in a positive way, you can improve the connection to yourself, your other people in your world, the world around you, and you'll get better eye contact, relax your facial muscles, and just really be able to experience and interact differently in the world and get back to yourself. We want everything to sort of pulse at the same rate, the same energetic output, so that things are, you want your mind and body to be
like the same frequency.
Thank you. Frequency. That's the word I'm looking for.
That's it. When we were able to have our yoga classes here before COVID, Michelle would be, just kind of warming us up, if you will, very gentle. And then we'd be doing something and she'd be like, okay, Carrie, I need you to breathe. And I was like, what do you mean? I'm not breathing? Like, yeah, no, I wasn't breathing. Right. Or that, the tongue off the roof of your mouth. Right. Because how many times are you doing it right now, Chris? He's like,
I'm always, I always clench my jaw. So I'm always clenching my jaw. That's mine. Like I'm always sitting there doing this.
No, start to just rub it out, you know?
Yeah. So, how can people, so let's go back to, so what do you do? Online coaching? Do you do webinars? What do you do?
Most of my coaching is done. I have a 3-month program because nothing happens in 21 days. That whole thing, change happens in 20 days is a bunch of crap. I like a 3-month program. It's called Awaken, and that's where we start really looking at everything, your deficits, your food, where you're at in your mind, body, spirit. And then you can also work with me just one-on-one if you want to get some drills to add into your tool belt to get some information about your diet or, whatever, any of the things that we've talked about today. And you can find me on Facebook is where I like to create community. I have a private Facebook group, so please reach out to me. I would love for you to be a part of it. It's where I'll do different drills and release meditations and just really talk a little bit more intimately about maybe some issues that have been on the podcast or maybe some more personal stuff. And women, it's a women's group.
Yeah. So, and the page is called Illuminated with Jennifer Wallace?
Yes. Okay. Yep. That's where you can find me all over the place. Webpage, Facebook.
I love that you have that all branded.
Streamline. That's where you'll find me. You can email me there too.
Yeah. Perfect. Nugget of wisdom. If you could leave us with 1 or 2 little nuggets.
Believe in your body's ability to heal and change, to make lasting changes. You can do it.
I love that. Oh, I love that. You gave me the chills right now.
And I'm here to support you. So anything I can do, please reach out to me.
I love that. I'd love to have you on a Zoom with our Survivor Social Club just to get to know some of the women in our group and maybe lend some of those little drills that you have.
I would love
easy
that.
Things. I think people get wrapped up sometimes when they hear wellness or they hear meditation or yoga that they think that it's supposed to look a certain way, like some, monk sitting somewhere for 3 hours silent, right? It doesn't have to be that, right?
That's what I do, but I don't know.
Totally.
Just kidding.
Or there's like a default body, a default person that kind of does that, right? But when you think about what we are made of, the chemical, the energy, the electricity,
energy is everything. I used to think people were crazy when they would say like, oh, so-and-so's energy was so this. And I was like, whatever, but now people walk in and I'm like, oh, back up. Like, back up.
Yeah. Stay there.
I don't know what something has shifted in me. And I think it's just me getting comfortable in my own skin and my own body and learning it. And just appreciating it in all its scarred glory that I don't know. I feel like I've had some blockage removed where that sounds so wacky.
It's called a filter.
No, it doesn't. It sounds great. It sounds good. There's divine intelligence and ancient wisdom that lives within your body. Yeah. You have so many
I believe that. I just don't know where to go with it yet. But yeah, I do believe
let's do it.
I know.
I can't wait to get on one of those Zooms with y'all. I would love to.
They'll love Jennifer.
Yeah, they will. Where are you located? Where do you live?
I'm in Austin, Texas.
Oh, okay. Oh, we might road trip out there too.
Well, come on.
We got a buddy who lives close there. We can make a couple stops, record a few podcasts.
Right? Well, Chris and I are going to take this shit on the road.
Yeah, right.
We've already decided we're going to the wineries. So why not the Treatment Centers of America? We'll go see my buddy, Dr. C. He's a plastic surgeon. I want to talk to him.
Go to City of Hope.
City of Hope. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And when the wildflowers are blooming here in Texas in the spring and we'll hit these wineries, we'll blow your mind. It is so beautiful.
Oh, she does wineries too, Chris.
Of course she does.
Jennifer's our new BFF.
And I hope you'll join me on Illuminated, Carrie. I would love to flip the script a little bit and have you join me.
Yeah, you got it.
Great.
You got it. All right, cool. Well, thank you so much for your time. We will talk again.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank you, Jennifer.
All right.
I look forward to it. Bye.
Thanks. Take care.
Thank you for listening to Handle with Care, Breast Cancer and Beyond. Please let us know what you think of the show by leaving a rating and review. And don't forget to share it with a friend. For more information or to connect with Carrie, go to thecareprojectinc.org.
Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Can you have zero interest in something and still really want it? Your wallet would say yes. And with Simply Zero from South Carolina Federal Credit Union, you can transfer credit card balances and get 0% intro APR for 12 months. That's right, no interest all year. So you pay less and keep more. To learn more, visit scfederal.org/simplyzero. That's scfederal.org/simplyzero.
Variable APR ranges from 11.74% to 17.99% thereafter. Limited time offer restrictions apply.